Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen released in Canada on September 9th, 2004, and these games were the first trip back to the Kanto region in the mainline game since Pokemon Crystal on the good old Game Boy Color. And it turns out that there's a Pokemon from Johto which stands out from its peers in the Gen 1 remakes. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, so bear with me as we go a bit further back in time to March of 2003 or November of 2002 if you live in Japan, which was when Ruby and Sapphire kicked off the third generation of Pokemon on the Game Boy Advance. This meant that Pokemon from the last two generations needed a graphical glow up, since back in my Pokemon playing heyday, which was quite a while ago, they just jammed every Pokemon into the game or Pokédex even if you couldn't catch them. So when the time rolled around to put all the Johto mons into FireRed and LeafGreen, Game Freak worked smarter, not harder, and reused all the Gen 2 Ruby and Sapphire sprites they spent hours crafting and perfecting. Well, except for one, and that one sprite belongs to Teddiursa. This little bear is the perfect example of Game Freak putting every Pokemon into the Pokédex even if you can't catch them, because you cannot find a Teddiursa in Ruby and Sapphire, and this is technically the same case for the Kanto remakes, unless you have access to an unreleased mystery gift event. You see, in FireRed and LeafGreen, the only place to find a Teddiursa is an Altering Cave, but if you head over there with a plain old copy of the game, all you'll find is just Zubat. From what I've looked into, the Altering Cave mystery gift event was supposed to be delivered via a Wonder Spot, a machine at Nintendo events that people could wirelessly connect their Game Boys to in order to receive a mysterious gift. This was how people got their hands on the Mystic ticket and the Aurora ticket to go find Ho-Oh, Lugia, and Deoxys in the GBA Kanto remakes, but the Altering Cave mystery gift event must have got lost in transit since it was never released. But akin to EA Sports, it's still in the game or exists in the game's code. To be honest, I'm not a game dev, so I don't know how all that stuff works, but the point is that the Altering Cave mystery gift event still exists somewhere in that cartridge. Anyways, this event would have changed the Pokemon you could find in the cave from just Zubat to Mareep, Pineco, Houndour, Teddiursa, Aipom, Shuckle, Stantler, and Smeargle. But here's the thing, besides for Smeargle, all of these Pokemon can be found in Pokemon Emerald's expanded Safari Zone without the need for witchcraft to access unreleased events. So it's way easier to trade a Teddiursa from Emerald, which in America's Hat released in May of 2005, to the other GBA Pokemon games. After entering Hoenn's Hall of Fame, you can find Teddiursa in Area 6 of Emerald Safari Zone, where they're just chilling on the ground. But in FireRed and LeafGreen, when you stumble across this little bear, after doing a little bit of witchcraft to access the Altering Cave event of course, you will find that Teddiursa decided to stand up. A feat which took Snorlax about, I don't know, like 17 years to accomplish? The only reason I even know about this groundbreaking Teddiursa tea is because of a meme I made for my Instagram page. I know, shameless plug, but to put this monstrosity together, I needed some Gen 3 Kanto sprites. So I skedaddled over to the Spriters Resources FireRed and LeafGreen page and opened up Mishuk9's Kanto Pokemon sprite sheet, where I happened to notice a little nugget of text at the bottom of it, which pretty much said, besides Deoxys because of all their different forms, Teddiursa is the only non-Generation 1 Pokemon with a unique sprite in FireRed and LeafGreen. Now, if all of Teddiursa's Hoenn and Johto Altering Cave companions got new sprites, then that would explain everything. But they didn't, which makes Teddiursa getting a new look even more of a mystery. From what I've researched or investigated, nobody knows why Game Freak decided to give Teddiursa a completely new sprite for FireRed and LeafGreen. Maybe the Game Freak devs were just big Teddiursa fans and Ursaring haters, since Ursaring never got a new sprite and just kept their look from Ruby and Sapphire. Either way, Teddiursa's unique FireRed and LeafGreen sprite is a very neat little fact for me, since Teddiursa is one of, if not my favorite Pokemon. And if they weren't, well, this video probably wouldn't exist. So, see ya.